about fixing my stand. Except I don't like... Is that it? Hi, how you doing? I gotta figure out where the camera is. Hello, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka. I'm a big mouth. I'm a blah blah blah. I'm a gum bumper. I bump my gums, only I got all my pretty teeth still. I'm a jack of all tirades. I'm many things. And then I am nothing. I am whatever my potentials are that collectively resonate in my soul sack. And my cat has got the zoomies. Stelly's got the zoomies. I got some new scissors. I'm excited about these. They're hella dope. I'm left-handed predominantly because my brain broke. It broke my brain. And I've been trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again while they keep trying to break it. Thank goodness for G.O.D. Good Orderly Direction. So I got these bad boys. Aren't they nice? Now I'm gonna have snip knacks on top of snap knacks and snack knacks. I'm gonna have snip knacks too. I trimmed my hair this morning. Now that I have these, this is why I could never own a tattoo machine. I can't. I can't. I'm bad about boundaries. I'm not good with boundaries. My own, other people, I don't know what they are. I know you keep your hands to yourself. But I know you don't touch people without permission. And thou shalt not kill. I know that. And anything else? Made up reindeers as they go along. I called today's talk Lawyers or Scribes. I was listening to this dude. He's a professor. I wonder where is he's a professor at. Where is he a professor at? Where is he a professor at? Doctor, or he's professor. Gosh, I'm hooked on phonics, and language messes me up because so many different... I'm gonna just sound it out how my brain says it. Sorry, Professor John. Wait, what does he say his name? No, he just says good morning. This morning we start the Bible. See, this is Professor... Here, I'll just... I wonder if I could copy and paste it in my chat. I'll create a post. Create a post. I'll call him part of my dream team. He would be hella dope to sit down and hang out with and have conversations with. I used to hang out with people, professors and stuff at universities because I worked at them. I fixed their computers and stuff. And then I'd ask them about things that pertain to their area of study. And then I'd say things like, this one guy, he's a statistics professor. And I was in IT, and I know how programs work and how the program works and all this jazz. And I made the point one time that statisticians are as easy to manipulate as the people are. Wait, what did I say? Now my brain is doing cartwheels. Statistician. What's the word? Collect statics. Status. They're as easy as to manipulate as the people that collect them. That's what I'm trying to say. Like that company Gallup that's in Omaha. Dude, all they do is lock themselves behind closed doors and hang out with their buddies. And like poll people. That these people have big huge lives with all their autistic children, 5, 6 in one family, you know, because they're all inbred for years. They all swap wives, military, you know, generations, and just the privilege. They get the good jobs, and then they make up companies like Gallup where they just ask poll people, and then they ask people, so what do you think about this? And then people answer, and then they're like, well, that doesn't go with the narrative that we're trying to create, so we're just gonna flop those numbers. And that's what those places are. Made up reindeer games, because they never poll the people that count, because the people that count are odd man out, because we won't go along with the program. I tried to apply there twice, and I didn't figure out until later that I couldn't get a job because I was blacklisted because some bitch named Stephanie Plowman hated me. And I didn't know this until later. Like, I never have a fair advantage. I always make myself qualified on paper. Like, I am so qualified. Look at this resume. Like, oh my gosh, wouldn't you want this employee? But because it's tied to my social security number and it's tied to my name, that's known for telling the truth. People might know me my whole life. They know, Marge, you're not a liar. I'm still not. I wasn't then, and I'm still not. I verified it by telling the truth in big, grandy, gross ways. By getting myself in more trouble in the military just to prove that I was a person of integrity. Let the record be known. I want the most accurate account. I want to be punished for the thing that I did. And I did. I was the last person in the whole maintenance squadron that didn't, after that, they didn't play anymore after that. They said, because you have to hide it. They make it easy for you to be a drunk in the military. They do. But if you start acting out where people start noticing, that's when they don't like it. And so I was listening to this dude, this homie professor. Where is he from? Where's his description? Does it say in there? I don't like I don't like AI. I don't like that they have relinquished control to modifying the interface as whatever they relinquished to control sees fit. That's what I don't like. So where is he from? Professor... what's the J? I don't know where he's from, so I can't say the J. Is it a H? Is it a J? Is it... I don't know. Anyway, language is weird. It hurts my brain. This isn't him. This is a knockoff channel. Oh, wait. Okay. It doesn't say where he's from, though. Damn it. The knockoff just makes things so hard. Anyway. It's not his real channel, so I don't want to give that person any credit. So it's probably AI. So I don't want to talk about it at all. Now that I look at it, I don't think that's even him. So never mind. So I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna not contribute. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna delete that. And then I'll make those comments on his actual channel. That's what I'll do. Because I don't want to play their stupid bullshit. Anyway, he doesn't... this guy's... people are starting to merge, like, mythology with religion and astrology. And they're starting to see the big picture now. is how I see it. And that's why I spend so much time listening to, like, there's this dude named Bill Donahue. He just died January 4th, and he was like 90 years old. And he was predominant. I mean, he's always been predominant in people's lives. He came across my radar a couple years ago, not too long ago, crossed my FYP, and I was like, where's this dude been? You know, where's he been? Like, I have been, you know, and he was probably, I don't know, he was like one of those that started out in a basement talking to a group of people that were like-minded, and then they would record on cassettes his conversations, and they would send it to parts all over the United States because people would get on a mailing list. And then if you got it taped, you're supposed to send it to the next person and pass it around. And I remember Mom be doing stuff like that. Mom was always looking for spiritual. She was always looking for a connection to God. And God always took care of us. That's how I learned about good orderly direction. Do the right thing, and the right thing will happen for you. Because she was such a devout teacher. She was so good about it. And so this guy, you know, he just died. And I look at, we're the information holders. In our soul sac, we're electricity. Our heartbeats with electricity measured by an EKG, electrocardiogram. I was going to be one of those meteorologists. And we're given source, we're given battery, like a connection in a car battery. It's the main source, and every morning, you know, something wakes us up and we get to turn over for a new day. I'm a mechanic in my brain, and I just like analogies. And then so people get to spark up and then go out, and, you know, what are they going to do with are they going to go out and like run over little Priuses? You know, they're going to go out and play bumper cars with some F-350s, Ford F-350s. Like, people, I don't know. I just got dinged. Some dude, Amish dude, dinged me last night, and I was like, I never would peg him for a guy that would diss on somebody because of a label that's on their car. Like, I don't discriminate for so many reasons, and there's so many people that discriminate for nothing. And it doesn't compute in my brain. I can't make it calculate. And so I follow this dude because he, like, put the solar panels up on that Nate guy, the off-grid guy. I don't follow him, but he always comes across my FYP. And so I was like, oh, this guy, you know. But then he's just another dude that plays all that day while his wife is at home taking care of all the snotty-nosed kids, you know. It has to do with all the crap and the shit and the skin knees while dad's off dragging Hales Bay through the freaking woods, you know, making life better for them. Fucking whatever, dude. Whatever. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and then they freaking blow me off, and then I'm just like, oh, okay, I get why. Because we're not alike. Because Mom likes electricity. And I bet your wife would too. It'd probably be a lot easier for her to store stuff than in that, you know, whatever. That ideology, where I grew up with it, man. That generations of might is right and do what I say because I'm a man and I have a penis, and if you don't, I'm gonna beat you down and I'll hurt you and I'll make you pay and I'll blah blah blah. But there's a lot of us women out there, we can take a hit, fuck it, hit. You know, and then they get madder because you take their hit, and then you're like, what, that is it? You're acting like you're this big, fluffy, strong dude, and that's all that you have? Are you serious right now? And then they get madder. Now, everyone's like, what is it? Whatever amendment, the one that you get these with, you know? I'm good at those too, but I don't have them because I don't want to shoot nobody ever. See? And so, these are so freely given. And so if you get mad, if they get mad about what you say with this, then they're here, you're gonna get this. And look at all the police, all the people on both sides of the bastion. It's a free-for-all, man, because everybody in New Mexico generationally goes around and does whatever they want just because they feel like it. Don't you know who they are? Don't you know who they are? People that I said that to me my whole life. I'm not impressed by money, property, and prestige. Famous people don't impress me. People that, large groups that, those are the ones I want to in the nose, really. But you can't touch people. I can't even do that, you know. I just go honk, like, you know, you little turkey, you little, you know. I do that with Biff, the president. Look at the dude. He's a Gemini. I know so much about Gemini, and you know what the worst thing about Gemini is you know that expression, like how you take two steps, you take two steps, one step forward, and then you take two steps back. Well, the way because I'll tell you my Gemini plates. So this is based on my personal placements, because I have 29 degrees in Saturn in the 12th house in Gemini, and then I have 23, 24, depending on who you ask, in the same house in Mars in Gemini. And so what you get with all the wonderful things that whatever they say Gemini are, I don't know, I don't get a lot of that. What I get is polarity, right? It's this back and forth. It's blue, red. It's negative, positive. And for every wonderful, brilliant thing Geminis do, you get something that it was like, why the hell did they do that? That is so lame. And that is the story of my life. With all the, see, I'm trying to bring goodness and light, because I go out there and I do asinine stuff, and I say asinine things, and in my mind it makes a point. But I know if you know, just keep your mouth closed. My head says that. My mouth ego goes blah, and I'm a human being, and I'm trying to be this spiritual being having a human experience, and I look away from the fact that I'm a human, and then I forget what humans do, you know? And thank goodness, and then I go out and I see the things that humans do, and I say to myself, I don't want to do the things that those humans do. It's weird. I don't want to make kids all different astrological charts, times of birth, all different energy potentials. They contain them. They're all little, like pop rocks. That's what little beings are. When they're little, they're just from source. They got all this energy. They should be out in the morning getting their hands in the dirt, learning how the cycles of the earth. And I know that there's some places that do these things. I don't have access. I just speak these things, and then maybe people are living them out there in existence. Because that's how reality is created. That's how weather is created. It's so funny. They talked for like 9 days. They talked about this storm. We got, I don't know, a lot of the snow's gone, that we got like 4 or 5 inches, something like that. And it hasn't even hit some people. So that's like, it's like not my experience, But when I was in basic training back in 2000 in Texas, we had ice storms. And I had to go traipsing in my dress blues across Lackland Air Force Base on a holiday weekend, while everybody was back at home chilling, to hang out in the command's office and empty out their waste baskets that were already empty, like a bunch of unuseful idiots during a snowstorm, where we had to go. There was like 6 of us girls, and they're from all over, and the women that are in the military, they're not tough and gruff like me. Like, I could have gone into the Marines. I chose Air Force because it had the lowest running. You had to run the least amount, because I have bad ankles, so I'm trying to get by the skin of my teeth, honestly. And so we come to a place where there's a little, like a little over the something wooden path, and this thing on the rails It was wood, and then it had like metal handrails, right? It had sheets of ice on it like this. We're in our dress blues with our little low pumps and shit, right? I'm trying to figure out how to get these bitches across so we could go, clean toilets for bullshit. Like, this is what the military is. I'm just like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, I've been through too much real life to have to put up with this actually being my real life. I can't believe it. And so, I'm talking with them. I'm like, well, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. Because I'm a mechanic. I'm like troubleshoot. I'm a fixer. I'm a generator. I'm all of these things that are about solutions. And I'm in a world where people are like, I can't do that. And I'm just like, these are our protectors. Are you fucking kidding me? And so finally I said, all right, I'm gonna get up there, and then we're gonna play human ladder. You guys at the bottom will push the next person up. I'll hang on to them from up here. We'll make a human chain, get the last. That's what we're doing. Let's do this shit. And that's what we did. And so that was my experience in an ice storm. So I know how much it sucks. And I know how much it sucks to not have an address. And I know how much it sucks to go to, you go to a place and you need something like a driver's license or even a social security card, one of these agency things that proves that you are who you are. And I'm like, I don't want to be nobody. Why do I gotta be somebody to the world? I want to be nobody. I want to be somebody that when somebody needs help, I see them and I help them. That's what I want to be. But besides that, I don't want no labels. I don't need no name. I don't need no identifying number. I don't need no employee. I don't need none of that shit, because all that stuff feeds the beast system. That's all that stuff does, is it feeds the beast. It creates systems where people get paychecks that don't give a shit about the people that they're supposed to help. Agencies exist as welfare systems for the employees in the agency. They aren't here, because if they were, there wouldn't be so many Americans of the land that I love with people rotting in the street. Like, that don't sit right with me. And so I vow, commit my life to bringing comfort and hospitality to people that don't ever get tastes of that. So I'm working to outboard a full-on fucking nice ass like culinary kitchen, because I've been planning for my whole life, strategically, logistically. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna bring my lights, I'm gonna bring my big speaker and my microphone. People like to do karaoke. Sometimes I get bashful, but I try. And I'm gonna make the people that don't, they ain't never had freaking hibachi, style restaurant, in Vegas. But I can bring them food like they have. They never had pizza, so good from New York City, but I could give them pizza taste so good it tastes just like it did when I went there. And they never had Block 16 by Paul and Jessica, farm to table fresh, in Omaha, Nebraska, renowned by the whole world. But I can come darn close and be inspired by the beautiful things that they make. And because when you give people good food, it heals them from the inside. And I want to do that, and I just want to show. I want to just pull up when other people are like giving out their Domino's pizza and stuff like that, which is cool. But I just think, dude, if we're gonna make people live on the street and fight for their lives against sub-degree temperatures and sleeping bags and tents and less than humane conditions, if we're gonna have to watch them do that, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna give them sleeping bags. I'm gonna give them little propane tanks. I'm gonna give them whatever if they want to fight to stay alive, I'm gonna give them a place where they can rest, recharge, and go back and fight to stay alive. Fuck. I hate crying on the stupid internet, man. I hate it. Damn it. Just let that shit go. Don't be mad about it, Marge. It's okay. People are like, why are you such a crybaby? I said, well, maybe I wouldn't if they wouldn't have put metal in my teeth. So, I'm getting closer, but it's never what my clock, internal clock, I'm going a million miles an hour, and God's always saying, no, man, it's my time, it's my clock. You know, and there's no late and tardy or no early and divine time. So I need to chill out and, you know, focus on being present and enjoying the time that I have with the things that I love while they're still here. Because time is short. But I've known this my whole life. And I have a way of seeing past, present, and future when I look at people. Because I know other people that are just like them. And that if they're not careful, they might end up like them. So be like this person that they kind of look like 10 years younger. And that's how I look at the world. Is we're all just connected. And if I'm me in this life, but maybe next life I'm going to be you. So I should probably be kind of decent to you. Because maybe in the next life we're going to trade places. And if I'm a jerk to you, then I'm just going to be a jerk to me. So I got to be cool. But I don't always feel cool. And people aren't always cool to me. Because like I said earlier, my Gemini placements, my hidden enemies, they're not hidden. People come right at me direct. Sometimes I don't know who my enemies are, and I think they're my friends. I thought my brother was my friend and he was my enemy, and that is a story that whenever I hear somebody that doesn't get along with somebody in their family, I'm like, well, what perspective, you know? Because I can see the dynamic of every relationship. Like, are you the jerk? Are you the withholder? Are you the energy suck? Because I've been the energy suck. Or are you the one that's trying to make up for that and just live your life different, and not be all the character defects that I used to be? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying not to be all those terrible things all the lying, the cheating, you know. I had to learn the hard way. But now I have principles like everybody else is somebody else's somebody. And in this incarnation, I'm a spectator. And none of those somebodies are for me. Because I don't believe that people are for anybody. And sometimes you just kind of pass through people's orbits. And then you make decisions to stay because you like yourself. You make yourself a better version of what you used to be. Or people pretend that they do that. And then what they're really doing is dirty butt stuff in the back rooms. Oh, here's Mom's head thing. I was looking for that. Where's the cat? Oh, yeah, he just had the zoomies. He might be settling down now. Oh, my gosh. I'm stiff. I wonder how cold it is. So yeah, all these people are having a different experience because they live on different latitudes and longitudes. When people live in the same towns and cities, you're basically having a soul commitment to be in the same orbit. I remember that, like, when I grew up in Redding, California, they have this neighborhood up by Alta Mesa, the school. I knew people that Redding's such a small town. Redding is just an example of, like, I don't know what the world is on a smaller scale in every small USA, Springville, USA town. They're all the same. basically we all have free will, and essentially, are we going to use that to come together to make our own communities better, or are we always going to be doing something to make out there better? Which is it? And then we have the out theirs. I think it's so funny knowing what I know now about the storyline and the contrived reality, you know, because that's what they are. Somebody writes down on a piece of paper how things are, and then we're supposed to act like that, just like the greatest playwriters and the greatest philosophers. They all contrive reality by what's written down on paper. And that's why I called today's talk Lawyers or Scribes. Lawyers or Scribes. And I want to read the Bible. I'm working on the Bible. I listen to other people's interpretation of the Bible, then I come up with an interpretation. I don't like to read. I'm not a reader. And then I get all heady, like, well, which Bible? Because there's how many versions of there's like thousands of. It's like, it's just a time suck. So I just want to live the principles of going out about, and that's what they do. They get people so caught up in talking about bullshit. That's what the government is. They sit around, talk about doing stuff and how they're going to do it, that they never actually do anything. And then they put people in bad harm's way in positions where they're, you know, impoverished. And it's been going on since I was a little kid, and I'm even related to the privilege. But when I think just about, like, they like suffering. They like when people suffer. And boy, Mom suffered. I suffered. And what Mom taught me is just, Marge, life will bring you suffering. You have to get rid of your suffering by having a connection to God. And then I went into recovery. I mean, I talked about prayer meditation for 15 I tried to meditate it. I got the best guidance. Like, people would tell me things like, I couldn't meditate until I did this. These are the things. I can meditate now. Now when I go to sleep, my body goes into the same way. When I meditate, my body because of muscle memory, goes into the same place. I go to the no place space like that. So I go to the no place space every night for as long as I sleep. And if I sleep for I've been sleeping like laying down 10. And then this morning I woke up maybe 5. I tried to listen to those, what are those called that everybody was listening to? They were all the rage not too long ago. The telepathy tapes. I got through because when I wait, it's a bedtime story. I need something else that I can listen to, so I'm not listening to my brain, so I can disconnect, let go back to sleep for a little while. And so I was listening to that, and I just I'm so tired of people, I don't know, getting exposure. They're like, hey, look at me talking about these people. They always get so much more credit than the people that they're talking about, and I never understood that. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm all those things. I'm like MK Ultra. I didn't even know that. It's weird. I find out about this stuff by other people. Like, I didn't know I was a Heyoka. My ex-girlfriend told me. And she used to hang out with she got to hang out with them. They told her things. So she knows things. She was the pretty white girl. She was so white. Her hair is so black, it glows. And plus I think it's I don't know. I don't think it, but I don't know. Good old S. Good old S. So yeah, I was cruising through frickin' Because ever since, I always wanted to know where I came from in history and all this stuff, and people just would say, "Go away, kid, you bug me." And I was the perpetual question asker. And yet, I was the "go away, kid, you bug me," because I would ask questions above the level of the adults that I was around. And they couldn't understand why this little kid was asked with a speech impediment was asking questions like that. And so I'm Scorpio moon, that's why. And so when I was little, I'd lay on mom and look at this, and I'd say, "Mom, tell me a story about when you had me when I was in your tummy." And she said, "Okay." And she'd tell me the story. She's like, "When you were little, you were so little that they kept seeing if you were ready to come out, and you weren't ready, and so they kept sticking this really, 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 really long needle in you, and then they'd take fluid out of your lungs to see if your lungs were developed enough." And then they cut you open because you were I was cesarean, and then when they take you out, and like, and then later on I went to the course of my life, and I put together a factual basis that is not the story. That's the story of what the doctors told her. And then she also proceeded to tell me that when she was born, she didn't get to hold me for 3 days. I was like incubator baby, or like in the nursery baby. Mom's over there fighting for her life because without her consent and her permission, the doctors cut her uterus in half and took out one of her ovaries so they could do their scientific experiments for the good of all mankind. And she was all alone. She didn't have like people there to like support her. So what I come to find out is they were putting fucking hormone it has a name. I looked it up yesterday. They play God because they think they're gods. And what they do is they try to break people's spirits and make people, because it's like, if you know somebody that ever has a limb amputated, they can still feel that hand or foot there, even though it's not. Or when you fuck with babies, when they're inside the mom, and you can fuck with the baby by stressing the mom out so bad, because it's called Addison's disease, because the mom is looking for support, and it's going to draw it from anywhere, and usually it's going to take it from the baby. And so when you fuck with the baby, when it's inside the womb, there's like a storyline of what their life could have been if they got to be natural. That's why they have transgenders, to perpetuate a storyline created by a group of selfish people. And I'm one of them. I'm one of those freaks of nature. Because if I'm like the perfect society MK program puppet. Statistically, I fit all the markers. I come from a privileged family without any of the privilege because of drug and alcohol abuse, but I switched up on them. They never thought that I would fix my heart enough to love myself enough and mom to clean up my act to want to stay. They never saw that coming because they couldn't have an actual connection with God. So they never could account for mine. Plot twist. So ultimately, I'm here to share my experience, strength, and hope. And so it doesn't, whatever they do, whatever outside forces come into your orbit to try to get you to switch up your energy, to stop you from being, see, because they couldn't stop me from being the spirit that I was. Because of the light side. I chose the light. I didn't choose the dark. They wanted to make another Jenna Jameson. I was like, nah, there's already a Jenna Jameson. I don't need to do what she do. She came on my radar when I was like 18 because we're the same age. And I liked pretty girls, and she was a really pretty girl. And then I was like, you know what? I could never date somebody like me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. They'd have to be opposite. Opposite, 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 opposite. Dating myself, that seems kind of narcissistic. I see people like they look just like their spices. I'm like, dude, they're fucking themselves. What is that about? Why? Like, is it like, am I the only one that sees? I'm like, is this like the thing that we don't talk about? That everybody, like, they are in a relationship intimately with the male, opposite female version of themselves. And why are we pretending like it's not that way? Oh, Marge, leave them alone. I'm like, I'm just stater of obvious things, that's all. I'm not trying to make nobody mad. I don't, see, my whole life people insulted me, degraded me, freaking tried to just embarrass me, shame me, all this stuff. Just because I would take it so well. And they couldn't believe it. So I'd be like a mouse to a cat. They just toy with me because I just take it. And they just be like, look at this dumb broad, you know? But that's all right. It keeps me even spirited. At least I don't get mad. Look, the whole world is mad. Everybody's mad. And it's not like there's not enough for people to have whatever they need. It's not like that's the case. Not the case. I mean, New Mexico is a multi-billion-dollar industry between weed, stocks and bond revenues. It's the next Hollywood, because Hollywood's over. It's the next place. See, Hollywood and DC are the same thing. They just want people to believe in bullshit. Like, dude, drugs are bad, but Breaking Bad is good. And then down in Albuquerque, you know, it's sad. It's sad what people just drive by and record their local community, you know, in a bad way. And I won't do it. I'll at least have, you know, I gotta order more freaking sleeping. Well, I gotta order sleeping. Well, I haven't been out in the community because my car has been getting rebuilt, I guess. Fine-tuned, modified, I don't know, fixed. So it's this whole thing. Anyway, we're close. And then I can get sleeping bag, Sub-Zero, the good shit, the nice shit, you know? Because when you have good stuff that takes care of you, makes you want to take care of it. That's how communities should operate and run. And so I'm looking for people that write grants in New Mexico. I'm looking for the grant writer that wants to give something back to their community. Take a few hours, write some letters, get some money so I can use it to go fucking do stuff that people want. Ask people what they want and give it to them. Don't fucking treat them like dogs in kennels and give them a hard ass cot and stink, you know, and bullshit. Make people more comfortable, and then there'll be less dis-ease, and then less sick people, and then you won't need all these doctors to feed off the fucking ill. It's just a gross, all of it is, and it's changing. I'm very happy for that. There's a lot of good stuff coming up in the world, because I'm going to add to it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out there and do it. I'm going to invite people out. Pop-up karaoke in Taos with tacos or beef stroganoff, or I don't really want to bake things, but I could deep fry stuff. I could do lobster seafood boils, just pop up in a parking lot someplace in Smith's that's a public parking lot, and just start making food and then put on the internet live. Hey, come down and get a food on Marge. Get a bowl of good grub on Marge, you know? Because when people eat good food, not crap, not all this McDonald's and nasty, like, it should be, it's a program. I get it. I see the program alive. Whenever I drive past McDonald's in Taos and I see like how much time people are wasting just sitting there so that they could eat something because it consistently tasted like something that they had when they were a kid and didn't have as much responsibilities in the world, and they're told, hey, if you're good, we'll go to McDonald's. And so there's still, you know, decades later, I'm good, so I'm going to treat myself to McDonald's. Or, hey, you feel sad? That's okay. We'll make you feel better and go get some French fries. So the whole world feels sad. So look at all the people waiting in line to get some French fries just so they can turn on that switch to feel better. And it's not just Taos, it's every town. It's every town. And I've been like a little pawn all over the world. So I've seen like all these small town USA. And I've lived in big towns. I've had more success in Omaha, Nebraska in the military than I have had trying to like build community in Taos, New Mexico. It is the funniest thing in the world. It's funny. Like attracts like, though. They just don't want to see how they're like me. They don't want to see it. They don't want to believe that my grandma was Crucilia Cisneros. But even though if they look in my face, they can see it. If they look at Mom, oh my God, that's Crucilia Cisneros' daughter. I have a picture of her in my phone. I bet I could find it. From Cousin Larry. From Cousin Larry. They call him, I guess he's quite the tweaker. Where is it? Cousin Larry. Where is it? That's funny. And then this is how small Taos is, okay? So Cousin Larry sends picture. I don't know why it's not showing up in here. And he's sending pictures of me. We're sending pictures of like family members back and forth. So he sends me a picture of Mom's brother. Mom's brother is in the middle. So this is Mom's brother, right? Is Elmer. And then so she sends me a picture of Elmer, and then I was like, is that the pastor and whatever in Cuesta, and she's like, yeah, I go to this church. That pastor, my first landlord, that's her brother. I rented from his sister, Denise. I hope she's resting peacefully wherever she is. She treated me horribly. Horribly. Horrible alcoholic. Reminded me all the time, don't drink alcohol. When you drink alcohol, you might act like that. And so met this dude. This is Mom when she was young. Mom's such a pretty lady. Mom's a pretty lady. See, because they don't want to be faced with what they did. They threw away a baby. That's like the worst karma in the world, is to throw away a baby. Put a baby in an orphanage. Terrible things happen to babies in orphanages. Terrible things happened to my mom. And nobody was ever sorry for it. So I've been making up for the whole world not giving a shit about her since she was a little baby. And then telling the whole world, like, hey, you got to make a place that's better for babies. Because if you don't, they end up like this, and they act out, and they want to shoot people, and they can't control their own emotions, and they can't, and they have too many of them. They don't know what to do with all of them because they're so sad, because they can't believe that this is what their life is, so you got to teach them a way to get quiet, and to get peaceful, connection to source, meditate, disconnect. Picture a train going by, and on those trains, if you start getting a thought, put that thought on one of those train cars and let it just go by. You just watch that. That's what meditating is. It's just going into the no place space, the place where you're not thinking. That's why people like to do art. But okay, get good ideas when you do, not just more paint, do more art. Like it's so weird. It's like, oh, the artists create reality. Well, kinda. They create their perception of reality. I'm an artist too. I paint stuff. I did this years ago. Bloop. Here's one of my paintings. But do I want $1,000 for people to come from all over parts unknown? From everywhere to Taos, Mexico, so I can hang it on a wall, so so somebody can take like 30% of $1,000, take $300 out of 1,000 because they let me hang it on a wall, and somebody. I mean, it's just so greedy. It's such a, and it's all about insurance anyway. It's not even about art anymore. It's not about art anymore. It has nothing to do with art anymore, and the talent of people. It's about who you know, what you know. Nepotism has just absolved the world of a lot of good shit. Because a lot of obscure people have been, looked over because they don't act right, or they don't have the right connection, or they don't whatever. So, I don't know. I found out about that sticker, that elevation 6969 thing, and I'm just gonna say that we are not in alignment, because I just think it's funny how quick I find out if I'm in alignment with, if we have a similar heart space, and I'm adamantly, where's the camera? I am adamantly against butt stuff. Not for butt stuff. Exit only systems. Butt stuff, not. Don't think it's cute. Don't think it's fun. Just, it's not. It's an industry. It's weird. And so this person that I was like, oh, let's see what this person is about. This is kind of quippy. We'll see. And then I see. And then I'm like, oh my God, there's people that actually endorse butt stuff. Well, okay. Have a nice day. I guess we're definitely not in alignment. Definitely not. See, because I know when people are not going to be in congruence. I know when people are going to be like, my whole life, I was like, okay, let's cooperate. When you're the kids on the playground. Hey, kid, you want to play? You want to do something? Yeah, okay, what do you want to do? Okay, let's agree to do this. All right, let's do this. We'll play this game. All right, okay. What are the rules? Okay, here are the rules. All right, well, over here we play like this. You got to establish the rules first. Okay, here are the rules. Both sides agree. You play the game. Then you start figuring out this person is going outside the rules. I don't want to play with that game. My whole life, as soon as I see somebody going outside what I look at as my rules, I ain't going to play with them. I'm not going to do what they want me to do. I'll play with them in the constraints of the game and when I have to deal with them, or I just won't play. So I can be compliant until I don't have to be compliant anymore, and then I can talk about all the ways the things I complied with were bullshit. These are the means of what I did to get what I wanted to take care of my mom. I enlisted in the military to get a college education. I didn't know they were gonna demolish the freaking World Trade Centers and make the men in the cave look bad and send me off to see all the bullshit about the industrial military complex. I didn't know that stuff was gonna happen. I didn't know they were gonna give me 8 anthrax vaccine that was gonna fry my endocrine system, that would make my already disconnected mind, body, and spirit, even though I was even more. But hey, I got into a good place where I got sober, and I was willing to do all the things that people did to stay sober. And I learned more about health, and they made me, they gave me consequences against my own body because of my build. I was always supposed to do, I'm like a little dude, I'm like a little tank. I'm not, my rib cage, I have a fucking Adam's apple. My whole life, I'm like, why do I have an Adam's apple? I thought it was so weird. Like, I mean, I don't want to get, like, I'll just keep it in clinical terms. In ways of discussing this is that I am different. And I never knew why, and now all of these things have been presented as to how I'm why. And so I was like, I made a comment on this lady's, what's her name? Mama, I don't know, I don't know. I can't remember her channel name. It's this lady. You might recognize her from TikTok. She's my age, I guess. I made a comment, said they mess with my DNA when mom was pregnant with me. I said there are monsters among us, and then some user said I've heard this before from NK Ultra survivors. So what do? I put in whatever the earth wants me to know, in what interface, MK Ultra, in Wikipedia, what I already know. It's an illegal human experimentation designed by undertaking the blah blah CIA. See, they start this stuff and they say, they halted it in 1973. Yeah, they halted it under what they named it. What they did is they just named it something else, put it under a different office label, started stamping other shit, and kept doing this stuff. And they do it on this people that I think mom got shock treatment before. They put her in a Tascadero. I got the sexual abuse. I got the baby in vitro stuff. I got all the fucking, like, dude, it sucks to know when the weather's getting bad in your pelvis. It fucking blows. I just didn't become the Jezebel, the hoe, the one that is like, hey, look at me, I'm so pretty, I'm so cute. What, look at all the stuff that I'm gonna do because people think I'm pretty. Like, are you okay? That's fine. Okay, that's great. That's great. Use them looks. Use them. Are you going to use them to get stuff and maybe get some of that stuff to give to other people? Could that be a thing? Like, isn't that what, like, tithing is supposed to be, no, tithing is you get the seeds and you hold the seeds so the next spring you have seeds to plant. Like taking tomato seeds out of your tomato, so next year you have tomatoes to plant. That's tithing, but then these mega churches totally lost the plot. They're supposed to teach that there's no plot, and they're creating the plot. So this is according to Wikipedia, Project MK Ultra was revealed to the public in 1975 by the Church Committee, named after Frank Church of the United States Congress, Gerald Ford's United States. See, in my family, they fit every single one of the markers. My brother's practice wife was a Nazi. And I think that they determine it by social security numbers with number combinations. I think that's how they differentiate who gets the good jobs or the bad jobs. That's the only thing I can determine. That the only thing, like what is the common denominator that everybody has so people get good, like, because I've seen people get the best jobs without any experience because of who they know. And my brother's military. I'm military. I was at Offutt. I was stationed at Offutt where Operation freaking Looking Glasses. I just never paid attention to history. I didn't put stuff together. I just think it's so weird, right? That the extremists, it's always about this. My brother would say things, and I just play these little clips in my head. He's like, it's the extremists. It's the fact that you're extreme, that you can't contain yourself. And I'm just like, but he got into that stoicism stuff. That stuff that gives him permission to disconnect himself from his spirit, from his heart. So he can be his own God. It's the gods of the Fraternal Order of Butt stuff. Anyway, alright. He's a lawyer, though. He's a scribe. He's a script writer. He's one of the people that they write it on the paper, and you have to act like this. And if you don't act like this, they'll pay themselves a lot of money to lock you away in a cage because you are an enemy to them. And he's a monster. He's hit mom after mom already got her sled to be hit by your son in the face by the palm of his hand. Like, that's why we got thrown away, because he doesn't want the world to know that he is a monster, and he's been a monster. And by throwing us away and not even making up for his bad behavior, that's monstrous behavior of and by itself. So that just shows a history of monster behavior. But they try to paint the picture like they're just this great guy. But if you notice, they're the guys that they're so private, but they like let they get close, so they let people, because I'm that same way. Like I get cool with one person that's cool with a lot of people, and then so they can vouch for me because they have personal experience with me. So whatever stories that other people hear, it's like, well, that doesn't sound like Marge. I bet if I asked Marge, she would tell me her perspective. You know, because people have been painting me to be a monster since my brother provoked me as a child, and mom would teach me you can't let people get you so mad that you hit them. Like, you'll go to jail, and that always scared me. I didn't want to go to jail. And then I learned to meditate, and then I became a stay-at-home daughter, and then I kind of figured how, like, there's situations in life that people end up in where it kind of feels like jail, because you can't really go wherever you want and do whatever you want like you did before, because you got to make sure stuff runs okay at home. And then I had to free my mind so I wouldn't think I was in jail. It worked, and I just want to teach other people what I know. That's all. Is a pretty girl in the mood? I heard you in your bits. Did you walk past me in the mood? Where you at about it? Alright, that's what I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. Peace. Boop.